oh, someone said I'll be king. Before you realize, before the D-Day, everybody knows. If in today's world, now instantly people will know, the whole world, Saul is going to be the king of Israel. Do you know that you give the enemy time to prepare your weapons of your destruction? But if you always outsmart the enemy, you will always take him by surprise. And you will not be able to get time to think and to devise means of stopping you, because he doesn't know your moves. You see? So when you are in the habit of just saying everything, be mindful of who you are talking to, your details, your academic details, relationship details. Even you see, even in your relationship, what is happening in the relationship, you don't have to assume that this is a best friend. Let me just tell him or her everything. No, this is my best friend. So whatever my fiancé does, whether I'll tell him or her. No, we don't do it like that. Tell the person who can offer counsel. You don't. There are some people, even married people, who confide in their friends. Maybe they're having issues in their marriage. So maybe there's this friend that they're always talking to. This is what he's doing. And the friend too is, helping you, just, encouraging you, this and that and that and that. A time will come where maybe you would have told your friend too much. And you will start getting scared of your friend because she knows just too much. Too much. You have vouchsafed too much. You have volunteered too much information to the person. So now the person knows everything. The person doesn't even respect the marriage that you are in, because all the nasty things your husband or wife did, the person knows. Meanwhile, the person cannot offer any spiritual help or any counsel that will help you, apart from storing the information so that you feel that you have released something, you have stored it. But a person's head is not like computer. The thing might spill, it might spill out. And woe betides you if it is somebody who cannot handle the information. People can even use it as blackmail, emotional blackmail against you. So be careful who you talk to. A good advice in the eyes of a third person can be bad advice. So watch where and how you give it. Watch where and how you give advice. Last week I said, before Solomon's kingdom was established, or got established, David had to advise him on certain people, how he must eliminate them. Joab, Shimei, eliminate them, kill them. He said, this one I swore to him that I will not kill him, but you did not. You are not the one who swore. You are free to kill him, so kill him. So this advice, if somebody is also passing by and he hears this advice, even though it's a good advice, but to the person it should become bad advice. So you must learn how to manage information. You must learn this. When you are dealing with this person, know how far you can go. You must evaluate your circle of friends. Know how their capacity. People around you know that this information, I must not release it. In fact, sometimes you can create trouble for yourself by releasing information that is not a bad one, but you did not consider how people will be able to receive it. Like Joseph. I have a dream, and my dream, we were look at the dream. We were all binding sheaves, and all of you, your sheaves had fallen. My sheep was standing erect. Why wouldn't they be jealous about you? They were your elder brothers. You are the last but one. And if all our ships are bowing to yours, it means that you are saying you are somebody special. And it's true, you are somebody special, but it is in the sight of God, not in the sight of your brethren. So that information, if you don't manage it and you say, oh, it's a dream I had. No, there are many things you don't say. Even there are many things that you see in dreams that you don't say. Not everything that you say. There are many encounters that you will not even share. Paul said, lest those of you hearing me will think highly of me than you ought to think. So there are certain things that Paul managed it. Sometimes he used some decoy or euphemism. He said, I know a man 14 years ago, whether in the body or outside the body, I don't know. God knows. How such a man was caught up to the third heaven. He was talking about himself. But the way he presented it, he didn't want the people to see him as super spiritual, like somebody who just came from heaven. So he had to manage the information. See, sometimes if you don't take care, depending on how you say things, people might see you as somebody who just landed from heaven. That as for you, you don't even, like your legs, your feet don't even touch the ground. You are always suspended. You're always in the air. Very spiritual person, always in the air. That you don't have moments where you feel you are a human being, moments where you are down, or moments where you are always on it because of what you say. Sometimes, if you don't manage it well, it can bring you troubles. When you are at a workplace, you see, there are certain places where I go, for instance, I listen to what people are saying, listen to what they are saying, then I'll either keep quiet, not talk. Because my experience is not what their experience is. If I share it, they will have in mind that I'm trying to say maybe I'm different, or as for me, I'm this. So you better just keep quiet. I will not say what is not true in my experience. Maybe that's your experience. Okay? So maybe you are talking about how your wife is maybe insulting you, or your wife is maltreating you. My wife is not maltreating me, so I will not join the conversation at all. Because if I should say mine, it may look like what you said, I'm trying to say something to make what you said very bad. I'll just keep quiet and sympathize and empathize with you, and I'll just keep quiet. I will not say anything. See, the desire to say things, has to be controlled. Even when they are good things. Sometimes when you are talking too much about good things about yourself, you may come across as somebody who is boasting or showing off. So you need to manage it. You need to balance it. It takes wisdom to do that. You can run into problems at the workplace because of your mouth. Run into problems in your family because of your mouth. Because of how you are always talking about your encounters, always talking about this. Is that the right platform? Let me tell you, there are many things. When I'm putting something on a platform, I think about many things. Many things. Before I put a thing on a platform. Okay? Because there are certain things I will put on a pastor's platform, I will never put on the main platform. Certain things. There are certain just last week I had an encounter. Very heavy encounter. Up to now, it's only my wife who knows about that encounter. I have not told anybody. You will not hear it in my preaching. Real encounter, very powerful encounter. When I woke up, but I told her, but I have not told anybody, whether in the family or maybe at the workplace or maybe at church. It's not necessary. When the right time comes and I'm released to share, then I will share. Okay. So a good advice. Now the last one is learn how to sieve information. I've already talked about that. Learn how to sieve information. When you sieve information, you lessen the impact. If it's negative, you lessen the impact. Do you know why in our normal parlance, let's say in our culture, we have euphemisms, we have proverbs. We have allegories. All those things are employed to lessen the impact of information. When we say the king is dead, in our Akan culture, we don't say that. Nana ko ekrasi. Nana actually had dying. Nana ko ekrasi. Which means he's dead. We don't just say the king is dead. I know this generation, they don't believe in euphemism. They want to say the thing as it is. But that's not culture. That's not how our culture is. Our culture, we always use euphemisms. Okay? So there are things you can say in English. To say in Chi will be a problem. In Chi, you have to use other words. If you I hope you understand. Okay, so we have to know how to sieve information. You lessen the impact. Let's say that this is your fiancé, right? Let me give the example I gave the other time. You take the person to your house. Then, after everything, maybe your parents or your siblings make a funny remark about him or her. That, hey, where there this, where there that. Now you go and tell your fiancé. You are not wise. It means you have not applied wisdom. You are destroying the relationship between him and your family before the marriage even starts. Maybe your family know that they can say something in jest. And you, being a family member, you understand them. It will not be any matter of concern. Okay? Maybe you took your fiancé to the house, then your family members are saying something about him. Maybe when he came, some reaction, certain things he did was maybe weird or funny, and they are laughing about it. They know you, the family member, you accept it. That's not the time for you to go and tell him that when you came, they were saying this, that. You are creating a rift right from the beginning. Sometimes you can defend him or her in front of your family. Defend him or her, but you never let a word get to him or her. That this is what they were discussing about you, and I said this. I said, no. You see, he will get a mind that, so why were they thinking like this? Because they don't really, he doesn't really know them very much. So there's room for suspicion. I'm now getting used to your family, but now, even before I'm used to your family, they are discussing me, and they are talking about my this, my that, and they are talking about this, and you are the one who did not sieve the information. You should sieve information that comes from your family, that comes from everywhere to people. Always try to lessen the impact. If somebody says this person is very stupid, then you also go, he says you are very stupid. No, sometimes there are certain things you remove it from, because maybe the person was talking out of anger and talking about Nathaniel. And this is that, he doesn't respect it. Now, you call Nathaniel, you want to advise Nathaniel. There's no need going through all that what the person said. And he said, you are this, you are that. No. At the end of the day, this person who was angry, one day will come back to his senses. And then he's still friends with Nathaniel. But Nathaniel is harboring something because of what you, the intermediary, you could not see. So Nathaniel is saying that, so this person, even as I'm walking up and down, this is what he's thinking about me. You didn't do a good job in handling the information. So sieving information is very important, especially in marriage. In marriage, is very important. Very, very important. If you don't learn to do that, you will create problems for your marriage. Because the same person who said that thing, maybe he was in a bad mood, maybe he was having a bad day, and he said something very bitter about your spouse. You heard it. Act like a sieve. Remove the bitter ones. If there's a message, a piece of advice, convey that rather. Remove the bitter ones Otherwise, you will create war between the two. And then you yourself, you are going to suffer for it. You are going to suffer for it. There are instances where people have all of a sudden withdrawn from you. You never knew why. Is that not it? You see people, all of a sudden, they start withdrawing from you. You will never know why. For all you know, somebody has conveyed a raw message to them. The person didn't have the wisdom to receive it. And the person didn't also know that you cannot handle it. I get to it. Let's say that I call Nathaniel, and in talking to Nathaniel, let's say I even make a remark that you are this, you Nathaniel, you are this, you are that, you are that. Then Nathaniel finds Stephen, and Nathaniel is telling Stephen that I told him ABC. Now, if Nathaniel tells Stephen, Stephen will be like, did daddy really say that? And he's like, oh yes, daddy said ABC. If it's true, daddy said ABC. This. So Stephen will be very surprised because I don't know that daddy is like that. I didn't know that he was like that. He could say this about you. So yes, he said it. Now, a time will come where Stephen will start running away from me gradually. Nobody will know. Maybe I will notice that it will take some time. Then he'll start withdrawing. Why? Because Nathaniel told him something. He didn't see it. Maybe what I told Nathaniel was very true. But I spoke not only words, I also spoke emotions. So when he was listening to me, he heard not only words, but emotions. Okay? But instead of knowing that, okay, as I was saying, it was maybe, and the emotions can be influenced by anything. Maybe something, maybe not every day. I'm not like that every day, but maybe that particular day. So you see that you create a wedge between me and Stephen because of what you did not see. The same thing can happen to you in your relationship and in marriage. When you think that every information you must pass it on, you don't want to lie. No. But you can sieve it, remove the bones, and present the meat. Especially if it is you are passing somebody's information. If it's your own information, fine. Then you can take full responsibility for that. But if it's somebody's information to another person or about another person, and you are sharing it, be careful not to create enmity. There are people who always try to come in between people just for purpose of control. So, it's a form of witchcraft. Yeah. There's a book, for instance. That book is a book of leadership. 48 Laws of Power. It's a red and blue book. Have you seen that book? The book teaches many things about leadership and about power, how to control people, how to manage people's minds. It's a very lethal book. If it falls in the hand of somebody who has a defective soul, or a defect in the soul, somebody who has a defect in the soul, the person will be badly affected. Because the book teaches you how you can rule by divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. If you and this person, the way I can rule over you is maybe to create confusion between these two. Let's say I'm with the pastors. Then I create confusion between the pastors and the members. Because I want to control them. So if I create that confusion, then I stand in the middle. So the two are not in agreement, but each of them is in agreement with me. I get me. So when the member comes, and I tell the member, see, I've been telling you, they are not good. Leave them, don't mind them. And I tell the pastor too, no, they are not good, don't mind them. And I will be enjoying I will be the one in the middle, enjoying from the two of them, And by so doing, I create confusion. And sometimes at the workplace, it can be done. For instance, at the workplace, if let's say two people, they are stealing or doing something bad, Now, there's a way you can set them against each other. They will never agree to steal. They can't come into agreement, so they will not, your things will be. Say, if this one see that this person is trying to do something against the business, he'll come and tell you. And this, you come and tell you. That's what the book was teaching. So I saw it as a pure management, because he was not teaching it from the spiritual point of view. But I see the same thing in other spiritual books, where the people are talking about leadership and management of people in the church, but they are using the same principles of mind control, the same principle of divide and rule, the same principle of using guilt to get people to do what you want them to do, putting pressure on them, manipulating people, and all. So if this book finds, if a person finds this book, and the person has a defect in the soul, that person is going to use that information to enslave people rather than setting them free. It's very important. It's very important. If you like, that's why when people are drunk, you see, when they want information from people, they sometimes get them drunk or tipsy. Those investigators, they will buy alcohol and give it to the person. The person will start talking. They'll be recording the person. He will say everything because he has lost control. He will reveal all the secrets, everything. By the time you realize, you see that you have done yourself a disservice. So we have to manage information. Very important. Manage information. If, let's say, one of the ways to lessen the impact of something is not to be in a hurry to share. You don't have to be in a hurry to share information. That one is gossip. Do you know that everybody gossips? Everybody shares information. It depends on who you are talking with, what you are discussing. It depends on that. If I call a member, or maybe I'm chatting with a member, and the member, let's say I have a problem with, let's say, a pastor or an elder, and I'm rather discussing the problem with a member, that this pastor or this elder, he has done this, he has done that. But the pastor and the member doesn't have any relationship. There's nothing between them. They don't know. They don't have. Maybe they are friends. If, let's say, Ernest and Pastor Tio, I know they are very good friends. I can tell Ernest, look, Pastor Tio, you have done this. I talk to him. That one is, I know they are very good friends. Okay, but it will be bad for me to call Ernest when he and Tio are not like that, and I start telling him that this is what Tio is doing, this what this person is doing, this what this person is doing. When you do that, you are not helping the situation. So don't be in a hurry to share information. When you hear something about somebody, don't be in a hurry. Adibo and fan somehow. You are not TV3, first in news, best in entertainment, first to break the news. No. Just leave it. Just leave it. Don't be in a hurry to let people hear from your mouth. When it is negative news, for instance, don't be the first person to break it. Negative news, break it. There are many things many information that will come to you, but you must be able to keep them, sort them out, have an information portfolio. Sort them out. This one belongs to this category. Things that this one they must never go out. Okay, this one I must handle it this way. This one that way. Manage information. Otherwise, you will ruin your relationships. If everything you will say, everything you will pass on, everything you will just say, you will ruin your relationship. Especially what is even critical is that of the family. Be careful how you, in quotes, disgrace your family to your fiancé, because you are not yet married. When you get married, eventually, he's going to see for himself. She's going to see for herself. Then he will. I remember Kentucky was saying that his children thought that all the people in the ministry were saints because he never, said any bad thing about anybody in the house, so that the children will say that this person is bad. Even though I teach my children that the person who is good can one day be bad. That one, I put that one in their minds. That the fact that somebody is good doesn't mean that he will be good all the time. So you don't have permanent friends, have permanent principles. So if today this person who is very nice and he's always, whenever he sees you, he's, hey, he's nice. If one day he starts touching your breast, don't say that, hey, he doesn't have any bad mind. No. Know that the person has changed. And you must react or report the person. If the person is your teacher and the person is nice to you, nice, and he's always smiling, he's always giving you this, one day, if he does that, know that he has changed. So a person who is good can also be bad. But not that so and so is bad, so and so is good. No. Okay. I hope, I think I've spoken enough, even though, okay, so if there are any questions, we can take them before we close. Maybe we can have some 10 minutes for questions.
Thank you. Daddy, please, you were saying something about you not revealing like everything about your past to your partner, unless maybe it will have an effect on the relationship. So does it mean that you'd have to keep those things, and then when you get married, to be like confession time, or you keep it till the person asks?
Yes, you don't lie about anything the person asks, but you don't volunteer information that the person doesn't need. If let's say there's a picture in your album, the person gets to know who is this. You don't lie about it. But then why do you have to keep a picture of somebody who is in the past in your album? I get in your hand. So that's what I'm talking about. So those things are past issues. They are gone. The general information is that, okay, I was in a relationship or something. The immediate ones can be known. Especially if, let's say, you are in the same church, the same group with the person, or maybe even that one, you can even let the person know, oh, this, the person maybe know that one. But if the information is not needed, you don't volunteer it because it's past. It's a new thing together. You are in a new. You don't look at the past always. You just look forward.
Please, I want to share this thing. One time, a friend talked to me about what her partner did to her. Yes, and I was very angry because I thought the guy was like someone who was really good. So when she told me, I confronted the guy. I didn't say exactly what she said to me, but I confronted him and told I was asking him why he did that. And I found out that my friend was lying. So everything that she said was a lie. And then it came out like that. So she was rather angry at me for asking the guy like what really happened. But in this case, if I hadn't asked, I would have had this perception about the guy which was not true. So because of that, like our relationship is, let me say, yeah, it has kind of broken. So in this case, I don't know, did I do something wrong?
Um, okay, in the first place, uh, if the guy is a mutual friend, like the guy, you're also friends with the guy, then naturally you would want to um, find out if what she's saying is true. But I think a better way, a better approach would have been that you tell her that no, I'll talk to. I want to talk. You want me to talk to him? You know, can I talk to him on your behalf, or I want to advise him? Is it okay? Now maybe she will say, oh no, 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 don't mind. But when the two of them are there and you are there, there you can bring it up and say, okay, you ask the lead, can I tell him now? No. You know, because the thing is that she was lying. Maybe she was just saying something to make you maybe, I don't know, maybe she had another motive altogether. Mm. But it's good for you because now you found out that it was not true, so you don't hold any negative perception about the guy. But it's not good for her too because now she has come to find you as somebody who cannot keep information. So the best thing is to ask her permission. If she doesn't give permission, you just stop it. I mean, and one thing is that when somebody tells you something about somebody, be careful because now the person has not done it to you. So be very careful how you handle it. For all you know, he or she might be exaggerating or outright lies. Like in your case, people can do that. If you don't know that how people can exaggerate, you will not understand what I'm saying. But people can really exaggerate. So when they say hurtful things or bad things about people, don't be in a hurry to believe. Look at things from a distance. Look at things from a distance. I was telling somebody last week. I said that never in ministry should you inherit enemies. Okay, so this friend, this minister and this minister, they are not on good terms, and you are a friend to this one, so you two inherit that. You inherit the battle. So you two are not on good terms with this person. No, it shouldn't be like that, because that's not how we do it. Because this one and that one, you don't know what happened between them. Sometimes you will see that the one telling you that this one has done this to me, the one is only being selfish, because when everything was right between the two of them, why didn't you tell me the bad things he did to you? Are you getting me? So now that the two of you are having problems, you want to use me as a dustbin or a dumping site to dump your emotions so that I will be sympathizing with you to fight your fiancé or your partner. Meanwhile, a time can come where the two of you will just eclipse me out of the relationship, and I'll become a third person. So I will not waste my time trying to fight your enemy, your friend who has now become your enemy, only for me to become a third person tomorrow. So that the two of you will now meet and they will see me as a very bad person, not capable of holding information. It's between the two of you. So settle it. Don't. It's between you. So settle it. If I will come in, I will let you know that I want to come in. Let you know that I want to come in. Otherwise, it can bring a problem. Okay. Let's.
I just wanted to ask like about Marjorie's question. So like in that situation, how does she sort the relationship out with the
Between.
friend she's talking about?
Okay.
Does it mean because of this they can't be friends again? Or
They can be friends. You see, the whole thing is, let her know your intentions were clear. Of course, you didn't know. She should have told you she was only joking. Yeah, I didn't know it was a joke. I really felt for you because I thought you were treated unfairly. So think about it. I don't mean harm. I wanted to destroy a relationship. I was just advising him because of what you said. But you should have told me the truth. Because I am not at fault. It's you, the information you gave me that being a mutual friend, I wanted to, because maybe you are close to the guy as well as the lady, and you can talk to the guy as well as the lady. So you can talk to the guy, oh, this one I didn't do it, oh, this one I didn't do well, this one I didn't do well. And without any, not knowing she was rather lying. So you can just go to her and explain things to her. Okay.
Yeah, Daddy, please, talking about transparency, is it okay? Let's say if you have friends who have done something to you in the past, and then you discuss it with your guy, and you decided to withdraw. Now you think you've
Overcome it.
overcome it, and then you want to flow with your friends, even though they don't know. They know what they did though, but they don't know you withdrew because of
What they did.
it. And then you want to. Do you keep giving your guy, or I'm talking? Oh, this person called me. We had it. Is it okay? Because yeah.
Okay. Well, you see, it depends on a number of things. Number one, it depends on how the person takes things. There are people who always take a serious view of everything. And there are people also who, because of the love they have for you, they always fight your enemies with you. But you also may be friends today, enemies tomorrow. Your enemies are not stable. They are not constant. They can change to become friends at any time. Now, but this person fights your enemies with you. So when you tell him that this one has done me something wrong, in his mind, there's no reason why you should go back to this person, because the person hurt you. So you see the temperament difference. So it's not every hurt that you pass it on to the person. Otherwise, you not help him. He would think that you don't pay attention to people. These people, they don't mean well for you. They have done this, they have that. But as for relationships, we must try as much as possible to preserve all manner of relationships, because you never know when you are going to need something from somebody. It's very, very important. One day, your next level may depend on somebody, and it would have been a phone call away, but because of a strained relationship, you are delayed. So you must always make sure you don't lose relationship, unless maybe you could not do anything about it. So if you tell the person, the way he looks at things, then there are certain information you shouldn't be feeding the person with. Okay, because the person will see the thing as, no, this one cut him, this one do this, cut him, this one. But it may not be a case for cutting the person outrightly, but maybe just distancing yourself, or just even weighing whatever comes from there. Yeah. Is it on?
Daddy, please, in a situation where maybe this person calls you and then tells you one or two things, and then you weigh the information the person is passing to you, and realize that this thing I cannot just keep it to myself. Maybe let's say, okay, Winnie is my friend, so I'm okay to use that. Let's say Winnie comes and then maybe she tells me that maybe Daddy says this, that. And the things that she says is not something that you can just look on. You have to like bring it out and then find out what is really going on. And then maybe I come and then I tell you, and then you call her, and she blatantly, like, she denies it. And the way the denial is like, now you, the person you went to, it's like you are now, it's like, as a woman, we're creative, be a whole drama altogether. And so you find yourself in this situation. And then this same person, maybe, I'm also friends with Derek, will go to Derek and say, advice that she didn't do well. Even if you hear these things, you don't have to go and be saying this to the person. But meanwhile, with you, she has denied everything, but with the way she's maybe confiding in Derek, it's like she actually did the thing, but she doesn't want to appear that way before you. And so now I find myself in that spot. How do I relate?
Okay. Well, in the first place, if let's say I want to, I don't want to lose track of the example. So when I lose track, then you correct me. So if let's say Winnie came to tell you that I said something, okay, so you came to ask me what I said, whether it was true, what she's saying was true. Is that not it?
Maybe she says, Daddy says, maybe next week they are going to cut your head and all that, and it's like, I'm a bit confused because.
Okay, cut you your head or her head.
Yeah, me.
Oh, okay, you. Okay.
And
Okay.
so it's like she comes and be like, Daddy said this, Daddy said that, in relation to me.
Okay,
And
use another person so that it will be like, because if it's example, I come in, the answer will be different.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like what she will come and tell you that I have said, it may be something that I really said. I get to me, but I didn't tell her to come and tell you. So she was the one who could not handle the information well. Maybe I said you're going to cut off your head, like the son of the prophet said. You know your master will be taken away from you today. They say, yeah, I know. Hold your peace. Okay, so if I told her something about you, it may be true that I told her that you're going to cut off your head. But the question is, did I tell her to come and pass the information to you? I didn't.
it's like maybe what the person said requires an action from you.
Requires an action from you.
On your side.
Yeah, so
not
then,
on my side.
okay, so then why didn't the person tell you directly? What about if the person had not told Winnie? You wouldn't have heard. So what would you have done? If the person has anything, the person should tell you directly. So now, you did the right thing by coming to me to ask me that, oh, this is what I've heard about that they're going to cut off my head, so what should I do? Then I would say, oh, yes, I told Winnie that this, that. So I was telling her maybe to take cover for you because this is that. Or I would say, no, it's not true. I didn't tell her anything. It could also be that I never told her anything. Maybe I was discussing something with her and I was telling her that, Joseph's dream, the baker was hanged. They say your head will be taken off. Maybe the baker was called Daniela. So maybe West, transfer. So maybe she passed on information to you that in the first place, she should have asked more questions. Even how to tell her, because there are certain things that maybe you will tell somebody. If you is too much, you must ask questions. So in this case, okay, so what she should do? And when you are telling her, you tell her what she should do. In addition, so, okay, he said they're going to cut off your head. That one. So what should I do? Okay, so he said you should do this or that, but you must also do due diligence and come to the person. So okay, this is what I heard about through Winnie. In that case, you have mentioned her name because it's like she was the one who told you that. Oh, she said, but then I heard that you said I should run. I don't know how, so I just want for clarification. Then I will say, oh, yes. If I should have even told you, or I will say, oh, no, I didn't tell her. I mean, it's not an information that I said he should tell you. There are things that you can tell people. If I've told you something, for instance, and the thing is about Nathaniel, okay, let's say someone has told you about Nathaniel, you are friends. Because if it's that of an elderly person, it changes. So I'm using your own colleague. Let's say you have told about Nathaniel. Now, he didn't tell you to tell him. Even though it might be true. So you have gossiped about, because you have relayed information that was supposed to get to him. Maybe he told you something about him in confidence. If he gets to know, it's not going to help him anyway. He's not going to think that you are thinking evil about him. Okay, so you see that you have betrayed your friend. But if, let's say, it's something that maybe as a pastor, I called Nathaniel and I said, come. I said, Boateng these days has not been very active. And I've seen that this and this is going to happen to him if we don't pray for him. If I had a dream and this, that, so let's pray for Boateng. There's no need to tell Boateng. I could have called Boateng to tell Boateng that this is the dream. But the reason why I called you, it may be a different thing altogether. Your duty is to pray for him because of the information I've given to you. If you have questions, okay, that is so. What maybe do we tell him, or what do we? Because maybe he has to do something about it because he doesn't know. Maybe I'll tell him, no, you just pray for him. Don't tell him yet. You see that now the information is still between you and I, because now at this point it is just intercession. So maybe after that time, I'll call him. I'll say, okay, now this is what happened, but we prayed against it. Now we have dealt with it, but you take this ABC precaution. Maybe there are times when I call Pastor Collins, or maybe some of the watchers, some of the leaders. I called Pastor Collins, I called Pastor Collins, I give him to prayer topics. So and so person, this is what I've seen. Let's intercede for the person. I don't tell the person. It's between me and Pastor Collins, because I know the grace on him and then his role that he plays. So I just give it to him like that. And then we are praying. The two of us are praying. It may take some time before I call the person to tell him. Now, if he tells the person that he says he had a dream and you are this, that, I will not be worried. Okay. But then he has to let me know that I want to tell him. Then I'll give him permission. Because I could have told the person. Why didn't I tell the person directly? I don't know whether it's clear. So that's where the misunderstanding will come from.
I really get you, but what I want to ask is, let's say this person has actually said that, and now the confrontation has come, and the person is denying it. The person denies it so much, and it's like, sometimes the way people deny things, it's very difficult to, in fact, defend yourself. So the thing just hangs in.
Okay.
And it's like right now you are trying to paint this person a certain way.
That is not.
That is not.
Okay, so if the person has denied it, and there's no way you can defend yourself, then you have to leave it like that. Yeah, because sometimes Bible says on the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word is established. So if the person has denied that, you next time, you must make sure that there are certain things that you have to get a witness. There are some people, when you are telling them certain things, make sure there's a witness. Because of experience. Make sure there's a witness. If you call somebody on the phone and you talk with the person can say, I never said it. What about if it's a text message? It's there for reference. If it's a letter, it's there for reference. So there are things that even God, there are things that he gives witnesses. So that you can never have an excuse to say, oh, it's not true. Because this person was there, so this person had it. But if it's just the two of you, there's no witness, then you can't do anything. Sometimes there's certain things that you must just give it to God. And just be since it is you know in your heart that this is exactly what happened, or this didn't happen. But then the person says it happened. So between you and the person, if you are saying your side, you will say, the person said it. So you two can be lying, right? Now, the person too is saying, I never said it. The person too can be lying. As at now, we don't know between the two of you who is lying. It's only God who knows. So this person is saying, hey, I never said this. And this person says, I said it. I leave it to God. Then you two will say, hey, the person said he didn't say it. I leave it to God. I get TV. So at the end of the day, both of you are leaving the matter to God. Because there was no third person. Sometimes, for purpose of witness, must be a third person. Say exactly what this person said. This is what the person said. Okay, exactly what the person said. So you were there, you heard it. Maybe this one, you could not provide witness. And there was no way you could also catch it on message or something. what do you do? Just next time, you must know how to handle such things. Because in life we grow, we learn forward, we even fail forward. So next time you know that when you are discussing such a matter with somebody, make sure that you have a backup for reference. So oh no, this is a reference. So that's like no, yes, that will solve the problem. Okay.
Okay, this is a follow-up question. Let's say you are dealing with someone. Let's say that like a friend of mine or a family member, and I ask like maybe a brother or sister, and I asked him where did you go, and she said okay I didn't go this place. And, oh like I saw you, or a friend of mine said that she saw you at this place. That means you were there. And like the person denies, that family member, that brother or sister denies. Okay, as you said, like now we don't know. Let's say like even I was the person who saw him or her.
Yeah.
Now he's the person or she's denying. Now it's between myself and that person, so there's no witness. So next time, as we were saying, next time we should find a way to I mean as a third witness or a second person. Now, can I also have my own way, maybe to track that person in next time? For example, I can take the person's phone, install application on it. Yeah, like I just want to know if it's a bad thing. I install application on it to track the person's movement, text message, the phone call.
Why is the person your child?
No, like not my child actually.
By your friend, you can do that.
Yeah, like maybe a family member or something like that. And next time, like if I ask the person, like I saw you at this place, he said no, I wasn't there. Okay, I take my phone. I say I saw you at this time, and this is the location that is showing. This is the witness.
Yeah.
And the second thing, like let's say we are talking to someone. Now the person has denied. The second time we want to talk to the person, can you put on a recorder?
Yes.
Also
Okay.
to record.
Yeah. Okay.
So two of them, is it okay as a Christian to do that?
Okay. The first one, both of them, it depends on the relationship.
Okay.
You see, for instance, the first one, if the person is your child, the person under your authority or something. For instance, there was somebody who, unknown to the wife, he had put a tracker in the wife's car. So there was a problem, and the wife ran to counselor to take refuge in the counselor's house. She was there, and then the husband came there. And she was surprised. She thought that it was a counselor who called the husband, not knowing that the husband had put a tracker in her car. So wherever she goes, because he doesn't trust her, in the first place. Okay, so that one is something that because of mistrust, lack of trust between the two of them. I'll say that for purposes of if it's a good reason where you have to know where your friend is or the person is or your family member is at every time. Maybe the person is under your authority. Maybe it's a child that you are taking care of or something, and the person is lying to you, but you want to be able to monitor. That one is good. So you don't tell the person. You just install the application, then you monitor the person. But if the person is a friend or somebody of equal, you have to let the person. It's not good. It's like you are stalking the person, and sometimes when you decide to go into things, you will find things that you may even regret. So it's a matter of trust. Now the recording is against the law to record a person without the person's knowledge. Even though these people do it, people just record people, so maybe you just record the person that this is what the person said. So I've recorded the person. Now anybody who records you, it means the person came to provoke you to say something so that he can record. No recording is spontaneous. You have to go prepared to receive information. So the person will try to say things, bring the conversation to where he can, you will say the thing that he wants you to say so that he can record and say, oh, it's even on the tape. It's an evil motive. You don't have to be recording people. There are some, I had a phone where as soon as you called, I had to be recording. You know, I had a phone like that. And then I stopped using that phone. It's an app you can download. As soon as you call the person, everything you say will be recorded. You know, but it's not necessary. You just have to be sincere with yourself. And do you know that sometimes you can you can find yourself also on the other end, where you are the one who you are going somewhere, and then somebody is tracking you everywhere you are going. And how would you feel about it? You see, now let's say the person say, where did you go? So I went to Tech Junction. No. Somebody said he saw you at, let's say, Body. You know, the two places, they are not on the same road. Body is here, Tech Junction is here. He said, I'm at Tech Junction. No, somebody said he saw you at Body. Then you say, no, I'm at Tech Junction. Only you know whether you were telling the truth or you were lying. There are certain things you can't go beyond them. So the person will just have to leave it like that. Okay, no problem. The person says it was. So if there's evidence, okay, now somebody said he saw you, he talked with you. He came to shake hands with you at Body. You can't deny. The person is a third party. Maybe if the person saw you, he was in the car, then he saw you. He saw you. I mean, you there's no way you can. He can prove it. It was a distance. He can't prove it. Only you and God will know whether you are telling the truth or not. So we shouldn't be stalking people, like maybe recording, the habit of recording. Now these days is there. But if you have nothing to hide, you should also be afraid for people to record you. Just make sure that whatever you are dealing with people, know what you are saying, be truthful, you know, and if, let's say, like David and Solomon's conversation, then Solomon records it, and then that means he has an evil intention to blackmail his father David, because the information he was giving to him was good information, but then it contained killing people for his kingdom to be established. Then Solomon will record it and go and show Joab. You see, my father doesn't like you. Look at what he said about you. Meanwhile, the father's motive was to establish David on the throne. So it's all about what is in your mind when you are dealing with people, the motive, you know. And under normal circumstances, you should let the person know that you are recording the person. That's the law. So if the person takes you to court, you'll be found guilty. That's one of the things that Anas they took, because so that if you want to record me, I must be aware. You can't just come and record me without my knowing. So you create a situation where I will do what you want me to do and then record. That one is not healthy. Okay. So if there are no questions, let's pray. Father, we thank you for today. We pray that you will help us, grant us wisdom in our relationships with people. Help us to manage information. Help us to be able to know what to say at the right time. Help us in our speech. Help us in our interactions, our dealings with people, wherever we find ourselves. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.